His wife, Elastigirl, now known as Helen, works as a stay-at-home mom for their 3 children, Violet, Dash, and Jack Jack. The children were all born with superpowers too, so Helen has her hands full trying to keep her family's powers hidden. Miserable with his pushy boss and terrible job, Bob longs for the action and adventure he experienced as a superhero. He gets his chance when a mysterious communication summons him to a remote island for a top-secret assignment. When it turns out to be a trap set by an old nemesis, Mr. Incredible's whole family must reveal their true identities and use their superpowers to save him. Working together, they defeat the villain and put an end to his evil plan. As with all great superhero theme songs, the Incredibles theme creates drama, intrigue, and excitement. Our cello section is the driving force in this song, setting the pace with their steady 8th-note rhythm. The melody is punctuated by heavy accents, syncopated notes, and big changes in volume. Listen for places where the orchestra gets louder, we call this a crescendo, and softer, we call this a decrescendo. These changes in dynamics make the piece more intense. returned to school on Monday, he played the bass so well that one would have thought he had practiced all year. He continued to study and compose music, but he intended to be a language teacher, earning a PhD in German and Scandinavian languages from Harvard. He mastered no less than 9 languages and had an offer to teach at a private school in Pennsylvania, but at the last moment, he turned it down and decided to give music a final try. Thankfully, Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is another hit movie with a John Williams score. The story takes us to the rainforest of Peru, where Indiana Jones and the Soviets are fighting to find a missing crystal skull and return it to the lost temple of Akator. According to the legend, the crystal skull belongs to an alien life form and holds great psychic power. The Soviets, led by Dr. Irina Spalko, want to harness that power to wage psychic warfare. Indy teams up with a young man named Mutt Williams, and as they decode cryptic messages from Harold Oxley, they find the missing skull. Indy and Mutt are then captured by the Soviets and taken to their camp. There, Jones finds two other prisoners that he knows, Harold Oxley, an expert on the skull, and Marion Ravenwood, one of Indy's former lovers. Marion is also Mutt's mother, and she reveals that Mutt is not Oxley's son, but Indy's. Jones and his friends escape from the Soviet camp, and after exciting chases, narrow getaways, a sword fight, killer ants, and 3 waterfalls, they deliver the skull to the Temple of Akator. However, due to the treachery of a double agent, the Soviets follow them there. Inside, they discover 13 crystal skeletons, one missing a skull seated on thrones. Dr. Spalko takes the skull from Jones and offers it to the headless skeleton. The skull flies from her hands and rejoins its body, and all of the aliens come to life and offer a reward to the humans. Greedy for power, Irina demands to know everything, and the aliens fuse into one and begin transferring knowledge into her mind. As a portal to another dimension opens, Indiana's group escapes from the temple, but the Soviets are sucked into the portal. The aliens continue to feed Irina with knowledge, but it completely overwhelms her, causing her to ignite and disintegrate. The temple crumbles and a flying saucer rises from the debris and disappears. The Amazon River floods the valley, hiding all traces of the temple, the aliens, and their spacecraft. With another adventure behind him, Indiana Jones returns home, where he and Marion become husband and wife. Our piece begins with the familiar Raiders March. It debuted in 1981 with the premiere of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and has been used to introduce audiences to our hero, Indiana Jones, ever since. After that, you'll hear Marion's theme, which also debuted in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Since Marion's character was brought back for the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and since Indiana still loves her, this romantic theme is once again part of the soundtrack. However, instead of the violins getting the lead, the melody was given to our cello section, and they play it beautifully. Next is Journey to Akator, where our cello section becomes our rhythm section as they pluck out a difficult, syncopated Latin beat in 6/8 time. The rest of the orchestra plays together over that beat, creating a lively South American rhythm. In contrast, Irina's theme casts a dark spell over the orchestra. The chilling melody ebbs and flows from section to section, moving from the violins to the cellos to the violas and back. The piece is filled with conflict and discord, reflecting the evil lurking in Irina's cold heart. Then, with a huge crescendo, it simply vanishes, just like Irina did at the end of the movie. Our piece ends with a reprise of Raiders March, once again signifying Indy's triumph over his enemies. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you will enjoy these selections from Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. ship bound for America, a land they think is without cats. A bad storm hits and Fievel is washed overboard by a large wave. He finds a bottle floating in the water and climbs inside, saving himself from drowning. His family arrives in New York, and they sadly go about making a new home for themselves without Fievel. Tanya, however, tells her parents that she has a feeling that her brother is still alive. Fievel's bottle does finally bring him to New York, but he has no idea where or how to find his family. Keeping his hopes up, he begins to search. Meanwhile, Tanya and Papa search for Fievel, and there are a few times where they just miss being reunited because they simply don't see one another. During his search, Fievel makes some new friends who take him in and look after him. One night, while staying in a water tower, Fievel is feeling sad and can't sleep. He gets out of bed, looks out over the huge city, and as the moon rises, sings our next song, Somewhere Out There. Across town, his sister Tanya is also awake. She misses her brother and wonders where he is. She looks up at the moon, and though she can't hear him, she joins in the song. They sing, somewhere out there, beneath the pale moonlight, someone's thinking of me and loving me tonight. Somewhere out there, someone's saying a prayer that we'll find one another in that big somewhere out there. And even though I know how very far apart we are, it helps to think we might be wishing on the same bright star. And when the night winds start to sing a lonesome lullaby, it helps to think we're sleeping underneath the same big sky. Somewhere out there, if love can see us through, then we'll be together, somewhere out there, out where dreams come true. Our rendition of Somewhere Out There begins softly with a string quartet comprised of our section leaders. Then the orchestra joins in, bringing a swell of emotion to the melody. Oh, and just so you know, Fievel's story has a happy ending. After some other twists and turns, he is finally reunited with his loving family. We now present Somewhere Out There from An American Tale. no longer needs to hide her abilities and declares herself free from the restrictions she has endured since childhood. In her song, Let It Go, she rejoices in being able to use her power without fear or limit. She recreates Olaf, the snowman from her childhood, who becomes a living snowman this time. Elsa also creates a magnificent ice castle for herself, where she plans to live out the rest of her days in isolation. Meanwhile, Anna sets out in search of Elsa, determined to bring her home, end the winter, and mend their relationship. Aided by a mountain man named Kristoff, his reindeer Sven, and Olaf, Anna and Elsa reunite. During a reprise of The First Time in Forever, Anna insists that Elsa return, but Elsa refuses because she feels she cannot control her powers. As Anna tries to reason with her sister, Elsa's fear intensifies and a blizzard swirls around her as a physical manifestation of her emotions. Finally pushed to the limit, Elsa lets out a yell and releases a blast of ice particles, which unintentionally strikes Anna in the heart. Forced to leave the ice castle, Anna and her group head for home, but Anna is slowly dying as her heart becomes frozen. Unless it can be thawed by an act of true love, she will become frozen solid forever. Prince Hans, Anna's fiancé, and his men attack Elsa's castle and take her prisoner, only to discover that Elsa doesn't know how to reverse her icy magic. Now feeling weaker, Anna finds Hans and begs him to kiss her because his love will surely break the curse. He refuses, saying that he was only going to marry her to seize control of Arendel's throne. He walks away, leaving her to die. Elsa escapes from her prison, but Hans chases her down and confronts her, telling Elsa that Anna is dead because of her. He pulls his sword to kill Elsa, but Anna rushes in and throws herself in the sword's path just as she freezes solid, protecting Elsa from Hans' attack. Elsa grieves for her sister, but all is not lost. Anna's decision to sacrifice herself to save Elsa was the needed act of true love, and her frozen body thaws, bringing her back to life. Realizing that love is the key to uncontrolling her powers, Elsa is able to end the eternal winter that had overtaken Arendelle, and she promises to never shut the palace gates and isolate herself again. So without further ado, Opus 2 presents Do You Want to Build a Snowman? Let It Go, and For the First Time in Forever from Disney's Frozen. We know many of you know all the words, so please feel free to sing along. performance with what is perhaps the most well-known piece in all of John Williams' vast repertoire, the main theme from Star Wars. It was written for the 1977 release of Star Wars: A New Hope and has been used to open all 7 Star Wars films. A New Hope introduced audiences to a strange universe filled with unfamiliar planets, spaceships, aliens, droids, heroes, and villains. To help balance the unfamiliar with the familiar, George Lucas wanted the music to have a simple, direct, emotional appeal to the audience that they could invite you to enjoy some refreshments in the social hall, which is located to the left as you exit the sanctuary. Thank you and safe travels home.